Greetings! I'm here in the kitchen to make butterscotch bars. It's one of my favorites. I say this about like everything that I bake, but I'll have tomorrow, so butterscotch bars. Here we go. Butterscotch bars, here we go. This is a quarter cup of butter, room temperature, by room temperature. I stuck it in the microwave for 20 seconds. It looks hot enough. Okay. Now, the original recipe, I haven't made this in quite a while, but I remember it being too much sugar. Surprise. I know you were all surprised to hear me say too much sugar. So I'm just going to cut it in half. Normally it calls for half a cup of brown sugar and half a cup of white sugar in the base. So I'm just going to do half a cup of brown sugar. It's supposed to be packed, so there's that. Okay, am I putting the lid? I need to put the lid somewhere. Butter and brown sugar, the beginning of good times. So yeah, this is for work potluck. I know that my very last video was last baking video was a potluck video, but we took a month off of potlucking because it was a little bit much around Christmas. So this is our late February potluck. And I'm just happy that I've got a potluck crew at work again, because we did potlucks for years, but then we had some staffing changes, some rotation changes, and it completely destroyed potluck, and we periodically kind of try to keep it going. And then COVID, and it was no share food at all allowed, so I'm glad that there's people around who are interested in potlucks again. There's one other person who's bringing cookies, and she's like, oh no, I can't bring cookies, you're bringing something baked. Like, no, that's not the point of potluck. People bring whatever. So you are allowed to bring something sweet. It doesn't just have to be me. That said, there's no way in hell I'm going to bring anything savory because I don't like to cook. Okay, I'm putting in half a teaspoon of vanilla. Reckless disregard for what half a teaspoon is, because that is the vanilla way. So yeah, this recipe, I think about it all the time. Like, I don't know, and I haven't made it in years. Like, the last time I made it was for potluck, so it would have been pre-COVID. Yeah, I don't know. Well, for a long time I had an oven that wasn't really functional, and also if I make it, then I'm going to eat it, and it's really not strictly necessary for me to be eating this. But yeah, now that I'm on a medication that makes me less hungry, I can just, eat whatever the hell I want. But, so I'm not. This is supposed to be 2 eggs, but it's 4 egg whites because, yeah, the usual. Hoarding my egg yolks for, looks like more than 2 eggs. Whatever, it's fine. It's a little extra egg to give a hurt. Well, actually, I think it's just the lack of sugar that makes it look like more eggs than it really is. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, the usual, because I'm saving my egg yolks for Phil's food. That's a video that you probably will not ever see, making Phil's food, because it's so gross. Oh my god. I really hate touching raw meat, and yeah, like between raw ground meat, raw heart, and raw liver, it's so gross. But I do it for my boy. Sorry, I'm taking a wine break. I just got home from work and I need a drink, so. Okay, what am I doing now? Eggs, vanilla. In a separate bowl, combine with flour, baking soda, and salt. I'm not going to do that because I can't be bothered. How much flour? 1 1/4 cups of flour. 1 I really should write down the adaptations that I've made to this, or at least attempted to make, because the only one I actually have written down is to use an off-size pan, or double it and use, no, not double it, 1.5 times the recipe for a 9x13 pan. But I'm not doing that. Okay, how much? Half a teaspoon of baking soda. That's probably half a teaspoon. And some salt. Half a teaspoon of salt. That seems like a lot. Sure, that's half a teaspoon. I was going to make these this morning, but I was not feeling very motivated. So here we are at midnight. Making something for tomorrow. This seems dry. Is it supposed to be this dry? Butter, sugar, brown sugar, eggs, vanilla, flour, salt. Yeah, it's everything. It helps that I'm not trying to double the recipe and doing math. I'm also trying to talk. Okay. This doesn't look like enough for this pan, but whatever. What am I doing right now? I'm looking for, right. Okay. Just trying to be prepared without measuring everything in advance. P.S. This pan is greased. The recipe says to line it in parchment paper too, but I can't be bothered, so it'll be fine. Scooping. Okay. So far, I don't know what else people are bringing. I know one person's bringing pizza. Another person is going to bring some kind of cheesy dip, which I fully support. I love me some cheese. One person cookies. I don't know about the others, but it'll be good. As long as you have people who actually try. That's when you get the people who are like, oh, I just went to the store and bought what was on sale. You could try. I'm in a little bit. What is that? The risks of leaving your pan in the cupboard without the lid on it. Okay. This is hard to spread. Oh, there. Okay. I think I've ordered, or let's say we, my colleagues and I, have ordered bubble tea. Probably 4 of my last 6 shifts. We've got a problem. And somebody else was judging us for it today, and we're like, no, we're bubble tea connoisseurs. Okay. I am going to bake this at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. I might do a little bit less because it's normally supposed to be in an 8x8 pan, so it's a little bit thinner. So I'm going to bake it for whatever amount of time I bake it for. I think that this is a 7x11 pan or something. It's an off-size one, but anyway. If you want to make a 9x13 pan, you want 1.5 times this recipe. So here we go. Also, you can't see it, but I remembered that I have an apron. So I wore my apron. And I wore this to avoid getting cat hair on the food, and I look down and there's cat hair on it. God. Oh, you can't win with cats. On to the main event. The butterscotch. This is half a cup of butter, which I did not microwave, so it's still very hard. probably should have set this on to warm while I was preparing the base, but sorry about the banging noise. And I'm talking while the banging noise is on, so I can't even edit it out. Also, edited is a very difficult word to say. Okay, what am I doing? We're just melting the butter at this point, so I'll be back once it's melted. Okay, close enough to melt it, and also starting to steam a little bit. Oh, here we are with half a cup of, it's supposed to be corn syrup, but as I learned, this is not actually corn syrup, it's golden syrup, but it works. I'm not going to change my ways now that I've spent, decades using this stuff, thinking that it was corn syrup. Apparently the conversion works just fine. Okay, I didn't quite get it all out, so I'm just going to put another splash in. Okay, and I had time to get sugar ready since I was waiting for the butter to melt. Half a cup of white sugar, a cup of brown sugar. It's supposed to be dark brown sugar, but I don't have dark brown sugar, so I could put in a little bit of molasses. Can you see why I don't think it's necessary to have an extra half a cup of sugar in the base? This has plenty of sugar in it. Is my burner burning? Got some smoke happening. Okay, some lumps in the sugar. Am I supposed to be putting anything else in at this point? Let me see. Right, and a quarter cup of water. This recipe is from a cookbook called Sugar by Anna Olson. I tried to find it online, but I couldn't. So, here we are. I've made it my own with 2 slight alterations, right? She used to have a show on the Food Network. I don't know if she still does. I don't know if the Food Network even exists anymore. I certainly do not watch network TV. Yeah, who has cable anymore besides people over 50? Can I get more corn syrup out of there? I still call it corn syrup. I promised my coworker that I would take a picture because she's baking the cookies tonight. So, okay, I'm bringing this to a boil. So I'm turning it up. Yeah, the person baking cookies had to run home and see what they needed for cookies and then run to the grocery store. If you are ever organized enough to know what you're making more than a day in advance, I can almost guarantee that I've got all of the stuff that you need. Because she needed baking soda. Who doesn't have baking soda? I guess if you're not a baking hoarder. Yeah, baking soda and a few other things. I guess flaky salt, I didn't have that. And she needed a score bar, which I do technically have, but that's for me to eat, not for me to share. But yeah, if it's anything basic baking supply related, pretty much I'm going to have it. Okay, I'm going to turn the fan on while I bring this to a boil because I'm getting a lot of smoke from my burner. That's apparently I've spilled food in there at some point. I probably made rice on here. Also, I feel a little head poking me. Hey, hi, Dingus. Dingus, you might be upside down. Fine, fine. I'll be back once it's boiling. That is boiling. Now, reduce it a little bit. Okay, I'm putting in, what am I putting in right now? A couple walnut pieces. And 3/4 of a cup of coconut shredded. And now I simmer for 7 minutes until it kind of starts to get a little bit more golden. Also, it's become a thing at work where people, well, one person started it, comparing me to this horrible TikTok person. I don't remember the name, but they wear ridiculously extravagant outfits and bake or cook things because I make things from scratch. Like, I told somebody that I made scones and my own clotted cream, and they began the comparison, and I'm like, I also made the jam. So yeah, I've been getting those unfair comparisons. They're like, oh, well, if you showed a video of like the reality of baking, because I was like, well, let me tell you, making jam is not a freaking pretty process. Like, you're sweating and it's hot and you got hair dye running down your face. And they're like, oh, if you made videos like that, I'd watch them. Like, nobody at work knows that I have a YouTube channel because, yeah, even though I don't gossip about work people, I don't really, it's not necessary. Unless they do know and they just share the videos without, me knowing and gossip about me, which is possible. We've got somebody, thankfully he doesn't work with us anymore, but he, oh God, as I say, I don't gossip about people. He's like complete misogynist and like completely useless and twit. And then somebody found his Instagram or TikTok or something where he's giving women advice for how to please their men. Oh, it was so stomach turning. So, all those videos got shared without anybody talking to him. But I don't think my content is quite like that. Anyway, I'm going to turn this down a little bit because that is more than a simmer. Also, I should probably set a timer for 7 minutes. And I need to take out the base. It was probably like 18 minutes. It says even golden brown. We're going to call that an even golden brown. It did rise a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to simmer this for 7 minutes and yeah, speed this up, I guess. Thankfully, my burner is not smoking anymore. Okay, well, it's been closer to 10 minutes than 7. I'm not really seeing any color difference, but I'm just gonna proceed anyway. Okay, remove from heat, turning that off. Okay. Just establishing what I'm doing here. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Oops. See, that should be steaming. Why is it not steaming? Oh, there we go. No, we're steaming. And half a cup of whipping cream. This looks a little bit sketched because it was in the freezer, but it will still be fine. Stirring, steaming. Yeah. You know you're in. Ooh, that smells good. Damn, that smells really good. Yeah, you know you're in for a good time with butter, sugar, and whipping cream. Okay, now shuffle, shuffle. Lighting's not good because my lamp's on the other side. Yes, I need a lamp in my kitchen. The lighting's so shitty in here. So I'm just going to do this. That's still really hot. There. Okay. Pour this over the base. Yes. Yes. Oh no, that looks really close to overflowing. Maybe I went a little bit too hard with going a little bit more than a cup and whatever of, my God, I can't talk. Words. I went a little bit over the recommended amount of coconut and walnut. Walnuts, that's the word. Okay, now we're supposed to sprinkle it with 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. I think 3/4 of a cup is probably going to make it overflow. So I'm just doing this amount. However much this is. Actually, the chocolate chips aren't really even necessary. They're just... It's nice to be a little extra. How am I going to make it all the way to work tomorrow? I might as well finish off the bag. This probably definitely ended up being a full 3/4 cup, I would say. Okay, sprinkling, we're sprinkling. How do I make it all the way to work tomorrow without eating any of this? I did warn them there might be pieces missing. Okay. Now I'm going to... Okay. I'm gonna put this back in the oven at 350, bake it for 13 to 16 minutes until it's bubbling around the edges. Alright, so these definitely overflowed and made a hot mess inside my oven, but they've had overnight to cool, and yeah, just gonna slice. The butterscotch kind of soaks into the cake layer. I did not really think that through. I guess I'll do 3 though. Yeah, it soaks in to make some very thick goodness. It's a little bit tricky to cut. Normally I would leave them in this pan, but the pan is quite a mess from the overflowing. Yeah, they're going to be so good. My objective here is to just get far enough to get one out. I do find it's also useful to have things pre-cut if you're going to a potluck, because I don't know why people aren't capable of cutting something, but people are not. There's also something else I was going to add, but I don't remember what it was, so it's fine. I'm sure that I've made them in this pan before and it didn't overflow, so I don't know what happened, but guess maybe timesing it by 1.5, or just making 3/4 of the recipe would be better, because I don't know. Okay. First one's the hardest to get out. But if I take them out of the pan, that means I could have one before work. Okay. Little caramel layer, just not focusing. Focus. Focus. Why is it not focusing? I'll just take a picture of it. And yeah, there's a little bit of caramel left in the bottom of the pan. Oops, for butterscotch, I guess, not caramel. So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna have a piece now because I know it's gonna taste good. Very well.